Today on What Went Wrong, we remember a friend.
Damn thing killed my partner, my wife Olivia. Now it's payback time! Who's gonna be the biggest, baddest little boy on the block? My boy. That's who. You're gonna be one smart son of...
Hey!
You're gonna be one smart sucker to make this daddy proud. You're gonna be an all-star basketball player, football player, baseball player. That's just the stress. That's everything that's going on.
Charles, he's gone. I'm going now, too.
So you one of my slaves. You'd have burned that night.
I was. And so was my daughter. But she didn't make it out.
You know, if you didn't want me to save your life, why'd you ask me for help? How did you get killed? My wife would help me. Because she was trying to eat you.
I really do appreciate this talk, man. I mean, taking it one day at a time. And in the future, I do see better days being a lot less childish, especially after this drive.
And I could have you both deemed a risk to national security, hunted down and eliminated. Now, while you're willing to risk your life over your journalistic integrity, I'm pretty sure your cameraman over here making $10 an hour is a lot less likely to risk his life over a news story. How about you, Miss Tyler? You wouldn't die for the story.
I mean, change comes along with life and growing older. I mean, I just haven't reached that point yet.
Ain't this your neighborhood? Used to be. Any old friends you want to drop in on?
Nah. I'm good, dog. Nothing here for me anymore.
I can't remember half of the things that went on, but I know it was lit.
You can't remember half the things that went on because you were lit the whole summer.
Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and today we're going to be talking about a very good friend of yours, and admittedly somebody who's growing to be a good friend of mine. I hadn't worked with him as much as I wish I had, but Charles Riley, who those of us who are Not So Sane fans will probably remember his first appearance in Red Days.
Yeah.
And he played Denise's husband in there, and is one of the moments that Jeff remembers most is when Denise dies and this very poignant, very emotional moment. And Jeff even talks about this to this day. It was like, wow, this is a Mauser film. And then the zombie baby pops up. Oh, there it is.
There you go. That's what makes it a Mauser film.
and Charles does this great job in the zombie movie. And I'll always remember most about Charles was he never complained. That zombie baby scene, we were supposed to have been done like an hour or two earlier. And Sergio was just driving. That was the time that it almost came to blows. Because Sergio was intentionally slowing us down and intentionally asking questions and intentionally trying to push my buttons. And Chuck, Charles would be off to the side. He'd be calling, I don't know, whoever who was calling me saying, we're running a little behind. And wasn't coming to me and saying, look, I gotta go, I gotta do that. He was like, hey, I'm here, let's get this done, let's finish the film, let's do this. Didn't complain, was never a pain in my ass, was never an issue. Always had great questions, but never overloaded me with questions. And then the next role he was in of ours was a very small role in Lady Lawman, but he was a character named Walker, and Dub got to shoot him. And then right now we're in post-production on his last film, Tag Conspiracy, where he played the senator, and he was very excited apparently to play the bad guy.
Heck yeah, that's what his mom was saying. I was like, really, that was real cool that she told us that stuff that I didn't know about, But yeah, like you say, Charles to me was always super go-lucky. I mean, not go-lucky. He was easygoing. Whatever you told him to do or wanted him to do, he'd do. He'd never be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. He just went with it, and you just had to give him a couple things, and as long as he knew what you wanted him to do, he would do it, and it would be awesome. He'd be like, I can't believe you're saying the stupid crap I wrote. Oh, this is so good, And he was in everybody's at the school. He's got to have, I don't know, more than 100, maybe more than 50. I don't know. He's got a ton of stuff. And I really didn't know him when he was doing the plays. But that one lady that talked about him doing the plays, she was awesome. I was like, man, we should have seen Charles do some plays.
And that's what I remember is that I was introduced to him. He was one of my students. That's where I met him. But I didn't meet him in class for the first time. I was introduced to him in other people's short films because I was teaching senior production at that time, and the people that were just a class or a semester, quarter or two ahead of him would have him in his movies, and I'd see Charles Riley in every film. And I'm like, who is this guy? I like this guy. Who is this guy? Because he'd play everything from The Benign Husband, and I remember that the Pill movie, with actually he wound up working with Paige
again,
in Cat Conspiracy, and then he'd turn around and play like in Joey Gallus' film, the Kingpin. And he sold you every single time. But then he came into class, and like one of the first things I remember him saying was, I'm not really a director. I'm just here to I want to be an actor, but I want to see the other side of that film.
He had talked about that. He wanted to be actor was his main goal, but he wanted the directing and the degree to be like, hey, I want to know how this goes, and then I can do this stuff as well.
If you ever want to impress me, show me how much you want to learn. Show me that you want to learn and why you want to learn. And right off the bat, I knew this guy was special because, he didn't need to be there in that class. He chose to take this class to better himself as a human being, to make him a better talent, to make him a better actor. And Jeff talks about all the time, loving the craft and trying constantly to improve your craft. And he was constantly doing that. He was and taking the video classes proves that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be the best he could be. And you can't impress me any more than Charles did by wanting to be a better human being, a better talent, a better actor, a better everything. And that's what I'll always remember about him.
Yeah. He was just cool. Like I said, we're watching his films. I watched Chicken Fried Rice the other day, and I was like, dang, this is so goofy, but the acting is good. The acting is good in it. He's getting a little ring, and that little ending for that film is like, oh, that's a good ending. Yeah. Wraps it up.
It is time.
So tell me a little about your experience working with him.
Like I said, pretty much every time we'd film, he was always one of the guys that you could count on. He's always going to be there. You could call him and be like, hey, dude, I need your help. He'd show up and just do whatever you need him to do. He wouldn't take money from you. For us as students, he's like, you guys are students, I'm not going to charge students anything. And there's another time where I had like a photo gig just to go take just pictures for somebody's wedding. And Charles came and helped me, and he held the lights, and I tried to give him some of that money, and he wouldn't take it. So pretty much I would just try to buy lunches and food and that kind of, just pay him back that way at least, because he wouldn't take straight up cash from you, But yeah, no, he was just always awesome. Funny, never complained. Like you said, I was just like, this guy, I'm a nice guy. Charles is like super nice. Like I can't be that nice. He never talked bad about anybody. He never I'd be on set, I'm like, I don't know if I like that person. He would be like, he wouldn't, even if I was talking something, he wouldn't make fun of them. He would just be like, yeah, they're working it out. Or I was just like, dang, this guy's a cool guy.
Yeah, and he was always there to help people. I was just talking to somebody about him recently, and they had mentioned that their daughter was just getting into acting, and he took her under his wing and guided her along. And he was always there to help. It was, what can I do? Can I do anything? Can I help with this? Can I help put up a light? Can I? And I was always, most of the time I worked with him, I was either a professor or I was director. So I didn't get to know him as well as you guys did on a personal level. So I'm now learning a little bit more about him through some of the stories and some of the eulogies and tales of people's experience with them. And I wish I had gotten to work with him longer to have developed more of a friendship with him. It just seemed like all the scenes that he was always in, we were always rushing off to do another shoot.
I remember on Lady Lawman when he showed up, I was like, Charles, you're in there. I didn't know he was going to be in it. I was like, Charles is here. Yeah, it was like same. Not so much for a Tag. I think I knew he was going to be in Tag, but when he showed up for Lady Lawman, I was like, Charles is. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun, just because it was fun already. But Charles is he just brings fun. He's just he's just cool to hang around with. He's serious about knowing his lines and learning his role, but he's mostly got it. Like, he's got it down for the most part. So you can joke with him because he knows what he needs to do. Like, sometimes somebody will come to set and they don't know, they don't have their lines, and they're like, hey, don't bother me. I'm trying to remember this stuff. Charles already had it. He just just need to talk to the director maybe a little bit, say, what do you want me to do with this? But he'd have it in there pretty much most of the time.
He was the type of guy that makes you want to be a better person. The examples he set and the way he was on set made you want to be a better person.
Yeah.
And to say that he was one of the good ones and we lost one of the good ones is an understatement, because there would be no problems in the world if we had a hell of a lot more Charleses.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be a nicer place.
Yeah, it definitely
Be a nice place. Like you said, he's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones. And like when you go back to the films, like I'd show my parents the films, and they would watch the film and go, like I did all this work on the film, and the compliment you get from him, hey, that one guy's a really good actor. You're like, he is, isn't he? But you're like, but how was the movie? I don't know, you really need to fix this. Well, at least Charles was in it.
Well, how much did you work with him? We'll go through a little bit about.
Man, we worked like as we had that group to break out Banshee, so everybody worked. Everybody worked on everybody's film, so that's pretty much like I remember meeting Charles in, I think, a photo manipulations class. He was there, and then he was gone for a little while because I think he had gotten sick for something, like he had high blood pressure. And I just know he wasn't in there for that. And he was back again, but he was kind of like grouped with those guys before I was grouped with those guys, with the Banshee guys. But we just all clicked. We all clicked together, and then pretty much everybody's, The Pill Project, Full Moon, Joey's, I keep forgetting the name of it. I just know his character is the King. I don't remember. Sorry, Joey, I don't remember the name of your film. Everybody. I think he's in everybody's film. I think he's in Billy's. Billy's is called Sins. Yeah, just remember working with him, talking with him. And like you say, he's just always super chill. He was just always never, there'd be sometimes you say, hey, well, I got to go, but not really. He was just always there as long as you needed him. We just always laughed, especially on his film, the Chicken Fried Rice film, because it just had all the jokes that you might not be allowed to say anymore, and maybe you weren't even allowed to say them back then, but they're all kind of racial jokes that we thought were funny. He wrote it, so he thought it was funny. But it was just like that banter back and forth between friends.
What would you say his best performance was that you enjoyed the most?
Pretty much like all his stuff. I think he was pretty good in the Joey Gallows film that I can't remember. I like him in Mine. I like him in Full Moon because I like that stupid little scene where he goes,
I lost my partner like this. I'm not gonna let you lose yours. Stand back.
he goes off screen, he just says, ah, and he dies. Like, that's not even Charles' scream, so that's some other scream I got off of, what was that, where we could get
Audio
blocks where we could get the sounds and stuff like that.
Just a terrific guy, hilarious guy, great sense of humor.
Definitely.
And he could mesh with anybody's sense of humor.
Yes.
If we ever offended him with our humor in Not So Sane, I have no idea.
Nah, I doubt it. I doubt it. Like you said, he could just go with whatever. And if I believe if someone offended him, he'd let you know. So he was that easygoing. He got along with everything. Yeah.
Well, it was an incredible loss.
Definitely.
To definitely Not So Sane. I'm sure to all the other companies that he had that had the privilege to work with him.
Yeah, tons of people.
Great actor, just loved his art, loved his craft, was always striving to be a better person, and all of those things that made Charles what he is, to me, makes me want to be more like him and to be a better person in general. So take that as what you will, but definitely could possibly easily say he's the nicest actor I've ever worked with.
Gotta be. He's definitely gotta be. The nicest person that I know.